All right, Shalom. I want to start by saying, HALAL, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. All right, real quick, I'm gonna get right into it. You know what I'm saying? As the title reads, prophecies will continue to escalate. You know what I'm saying? I got the word escalate in parentheses for a reason because, the other day, you know what I'm saying? All adult shit, like if you want to talk about it just days in general, a lot of things have been happening. And one word that I thought of was like, yo, damn, it's escalating. Everything is just escalating. So, I went into I dug into the word escalate. I went into the etymology, and then when I seen what it meant and what it derived from and what they used it for mainly, I was taken aback. But there's a few things. So I'm gonna bring out a couple articles and a couple scriptures, and Lord willing be edifying because this is it, man. Like the things happening now are not the same things that were happening 10, 15 years ago. The things happening now are proof that the end is speaking. Like the end is speaking, and it's speaking very loudly. All right, and nobody, including Esau, these elites, no one's gonna be able to shut the end up. Nobody's gonna be able to stop the prophecies, man. Because the Lord said he declared the end from the beginning, and who shall stay his hand? Now, one article, hold on, so because some news that happened today, you had Iran, or the US, they said the US shot down an Iranian drone that was coming out aggressively. Other article I have, this is from biometricupdate.com, and so basically it's like a news platform for like biometric technology and news pertaining to that. And this article says 4,700 enrolled for Guyana digital ID ahead of full rollout. Because what's going to be happening soon? You're going to be having a whole bunch of digital ID, digital currency, all this stuff is coming to pass. Because why? This digital ID, this digital currency, this new world order, all these things are all pertaining to the beast system. And ultimately, it's going to come to where this beast, this devils bring out the actual mark of the beast, which is going to be the RFID Michael C hit. So let me get to this article real quick. So it says more than 4,700 citizens have registered for Guyana's National Electronic Identification (EID) system in 2025, receiving a single identifier and completing biometric verification supplied by Veridos. During 2026, the government of the South American country is planning to roll out. Oops. Fuck. Salaki. Click that in the article by mistake. Yeah, so it says during 2026, the government of the South American country is planning to roll out more digital public service initiatives. Finance Minister Ashni Singh said during the 2026 budget presentation on Monday. This is last Monday, not yesterday, but last Monday. Because this article is from January 29th. And it says, among them is the My Guyana Citizen Portal, allowing EID owners access to government services. Now, I don't know if Guyana was mentioned before, but I did a video regarding the digital ID and stuff. I don't know if Guyana was mentioned, but I know that they said that a lot of countries bringing this out is going to be like helpful in pertaining to people getting their government assistance from the government and government programs. So that's what they just said. Government services. So it says other initiatives include the Gov Connect app, which will offer online scheduling of appointments and queue management, and the Citizen Connect app, which will allow the public to submit feedback to the government, due to be launched later this month. The government is also introducing an AI assistant called AskGov to answer citizen questions. See that? The AI takeover, digital ID. Now, aside from the AI, what's going to be the the escalation and the advancement for the digital ID. It's going to be the MOTB, which is the RFID micro-CHIP, which they're going to require, which are going to cause for everybody to have to get and actually implant it in their body to go along with this very system that they're trying to set up. Oh my gosh, what the fuck? It said the country's national digital ID system is developed by the Digital Identity Card Registry. The EID enrollment began at the end of 2025 with the government distributing the card to select employees, state employees. It says this full rollout of the ID is expected to happen during the second quarter of 2026. So the second quarter would be what? January, February, March. So they're saying during the second quarter. So that's going to be what? Between April, May, and June. Yeah, because January, February, March was the first quarter. Then you're going to have April, May, June. So it's going to be between April, May, and June. It says once the implementation of the Digital ID Card Act and the Data Protection Act is completed, the personal data protection laws were passed 2 years ago, but are not yet enforced. As the country wants to scale the national infrastructure before they take effect, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Enio Nanlaw explained in December last year. Once all the processes are in place and the personnel are in place and the mechanism to administer the full implementation of the legislation, then the legislation will be brought into force, Nandel said. So that's the same thing they're going to do with the CHIP. They're going to do the same exact thing with the RFID micro-CHIP. Once they start implementing it more, once they start getting all their ducks in a row, once they start setting up the system, they're going to say, all right, then the cause. He calls up all. And it's prophecy. This is all prophecy. And that's why I titled this video, Prophecy Will Continue to Escalate. It says, meanwhile, the Guyanese government is attempting to quell fears that the identity cards could pose a threat to privacy. And that's the same thing. What was it? What were they just talking about? Oh, shit. This was a couple days ago, I did a video on it where they talk about the privacy is in question. Shit. What was it? The privacy in question. Damn, I forgot. It's just so much happening. But anyway, it says the Attorney General stressed that data gathered during the voluntary phase excludes highly personal information such as medical or financial records and is restricted to data that the state already owns. This includes a person's name, address, national ID number, passport number, taxpayer identification number, photograph, driver's license, marriage certificate, birth certificate, and deed poll documentation. But, like I said, these are things they already own. So these are things they can clearly just pull up for themselves. But there was something, I was just doing a video on it a couple days ago, and the main thing they were talking about was privacy. Matter of fact, hold up. In 1 second. One second. Oh, shit. Because they were talking about something that was like privacy is the issue. Oh, yeah. The TikTok venture. Now, these small hats has a venture where they bought it, basically on TikTok or the American, whatever is happening in America with TikTok. And that's what it was about. All right, but going back to the article. It says Guyana is making the EID available on a voluntary basis to both citizens and residents. See? Voluntary now. voluntary now, but what else was voluntary? Wearing a mask also was voluntary. Getting the jab, but then they ended up making it what? Mandatory. That's escalation. That's raising the bar. All right. It said the country is continuing to expand integrated service centers, allowing Guyanese better access to EID passports, tax and registry services. Citizens are invited to submit documents to enrollment stations where officials can capture their facial biometrics and fingerprints for the EID card. Fingerprints, facial recognition. This is all part of the B system. Because what's eventually going to be able to be scanned without having all this other shit to see if that's in your body? They'll be able to scan the chip, and all the information they need is going to pop up. All right, that's one article. So that's one article down. Hold up. What about one article? What is it? U.S. drone. U.S. drone. U.S. downs. Okay, it pops up. What is it? There's something that I believe this happened today, and it was the U.S. downed an Iranian drone, and that's actually where I got one of the thumbnails from. So I'm gonna bring this out. So this says U.S. shoots down Iranian drone that aggressively approached an aircraft carrier, military says. Now this article is from 6 hours ago. It says, hold up. Oh, that's from 1 hour ago. But this happened earlier today because like they're like 7-8 hours ahead of us over there in that region. So it says U.S. shoots down Iranian drone that aggressively approached an aircraft carrier, military says. But you see the escalation? The escalation went from they sent their people over there. They sent those things over there. But now what? Now actions are taking place. Now they shot down an Iranian drone. They said Iran had drones circling around the actual carrier. So like this is escalation of World War III. This is escalation of prophecy. This is escalation of the MOTB. This is escalation of the B system. This is escalation of prophecy. That's why the title reads, the prophecies will continue to escalate. Now, real quick, going to the word escalate. Now, you go to the word escalate, you got the joint from 1922. It says to use an escalator. It says replacing earlier verb. It says from the noun escalade. Escalate came into in general use with the figurative sense of raise. Figurative sense of raise. So figuratively speaking, prophecies are escalating because why? Prophecies are happening and more. And like when you think about certain prophecies like the MOTB, the third woe, like you had the wars, the rumors of wars, you had them talking, you had them whatever, but you see how they escalate, and now it's like, all right, now they're sending stuff certain places. Now they're calling certain actions. They said one thing with Venezuela, then they went to go kidnap that president. They say, they're talking to Iran, threatening Iran, then they start sending stuff over there to the Pacific, to the Persian Gulf, to the Pacific area. All these escalations, all these raising of prophecies, man. The prophecies are continuing to rise. Events are going to continue to take place. So it says, for the now escalates into general use with the figurative sense of raise from 1959 in trans. But here, check this out. It says, originally in reference to scenarios for possible nuclear war. Nuclear war. What is the whole reason why they're over there bothering Iran? Because why? Of their nuclear program. They said that Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. They can't, Trump said they can't have nuclear, they just can't develop a nuclear weapon. So, this escalation It says pertaining to what? Nuclear war. And that's why Israel, that's why them small hats, that's why America, that's why all the nations right now, they're what? They're all preparing for a nuclear war. And it's evident. That's why the Lord said what? The end shall speak. All right? It's possible nuclear war. That's pretty much it on that. So, speaking of so now let's get into the escalation of what happened with America, Iran, and whatnot, because all right, they sent the shit over there, but there was no action took place. But now we have to where it says that the U.S. shoots down Iranian drone that aggressively approached an aircraft carrier, military says. So it says a U.S. Navy fighter jet shot down an Iranian drone that was approaching the aircraft carrier U.S. Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea, U.S. Central Command said Tuesday, which is today, threatening to ramp up tensions as the Trump administration warns of possible military action to get Iran to the negotiating table. But negotiating what? Negotiating what? Their nuclear program, their nuclear weapons, or their possible nuclear weapons. But it's funny because you're in their area, so like, they have every right to do what they gonna do. But here it is. Here go America. Here go East, the main proud of the Edomites. They going there and saying that we could just do whatever now. We don't have to go over there. And it's the Lord putting the spirit on all these nations to do it. All these heathens, the Lord said what? Remember, Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. All these actions that America is doing, what I say, that the Esau doing, Ishmael doing, Elam's doing, the other Edomites on the other side of the world, everything is pertaining to what? Preparing for war. It says the drone aggressively approached the aircraft carrier with unclear intent and kept flying toward it despite de-escalatory... shit. Call law YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. It said despite de-escalatory measures, so they're trying to bring it down, de-escalatory measures taken by U.S. forces operating in international waters, Central Command spokesman Captain Tim Hawkins said in a statement. The shootdown occurred within hours of Iranian forces harassing a U.S. flagged and U.S. crewed merchant vessel that was sailing in the Strait of Hormuz, the American military said. Now, what did Iran say if America whatnot attacks them? They're going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Cool. So in Iran's mind, it's like you in our hood. You in our vicinity. You a long way from home. This ain't your, they saying that this our shit. And you imposing on our shit. All right, but continuing on, it says the developments could escalate. Oh, there you go. Escalate. The developments could escalate the heightened tensions between the longtime adversaries as President Trump has threatened to use military action first over Iran's bloody crackdown on nationwide protests. But hold up, but this sounds similar to what you did with Venezuela. You tried to say that it was all about drugs and a cartel, but you then took their oil. What did the oil have to do with a drug cartel? So what is a protest? What do protests have to do with what you about to attack them? And they're the same thing you did last year. Remember the 12-day war? There was no protest then. And there's alleged rumors that they're saying that the fucking small hats got something to do with all these protests. Some stage shit. Just like, drop my keys. I'll get them just later. It says, and then to try to get the country to make a deal over its nuclear program. Trump's Republican administration has built up military forces in the region. So that's not just talking. You're setting up your military for what? Military action. But then you want to talk about, because of the protesters, so you don't kill no protesters, so this, that, and the third. What do you have to do with anything that they're doing over there? Mind your fucking business. But they can't. It said what? He's not a keeper of at home. Though he has the feathers of the earth, he is not satisfied. Roughly paraphrasing. And you trying to, and these Iranians, these Persians, they ain't been doing shit to nobody. Nobody. You've been bothering them, and you talk about attacking them. They're not talking about attacking you. They're not talking about, yo, you know, we need to do something with America because of what's going on over there, what they're doing to their citizens. But here you are, America, talk about going over there to a whole nother region of the earth, putting a bunch of your military over there, and then talking about, yeah, it's for the protesters' safety. Well, what about the protesters that's protesting over here in America? You don't see Iran, you don't see these other countries coming over here and talking about, yeah, we need to save the American people from the American government so they can protest safely. You don't hear that. All right? So it says Trump's Republican administration has built up military forces in the region, sending an aircraft carrier, guided missile destroyers, air defense assets, and more to supplement its presence. The Shahed 1-139 drone was shot down by an F-35C fighter jet from the Lincoln, which was sailing around about 500 miles, 800 kilometers from Iran's southern coast. Hawkins said, no American troops were harmed and no U.S. equipment was damaged, the military statement noted. Iranian state media reported that Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard is investigating the interruption of the drone. Semi-official Tasnim news agency posted on its Telegram that before the footage cut out, the drone was able to successfully transfer the images it took back to Iran. So, whatever the goal was, they took their intel back to Iran before he was able to shoot the drone down. And they probably knew that you were going to shoot that drone down, or they probably didn't care about that drone, but who knows? It says U.S. says Iran also harassed a merchant vessel. It says after the shoot down, Revolutionary Guard forces harassed a merchant vessel. Stina Imperative, the U.S. military said 2 boats and an Iranian Mahajer drone approached the ship at high speeds and threatened to board this and seize the tanker, Hawkins' statement said. But this nigga could be lying. Now, hold up. Now, with all this being said, all this prophecy coming to pass, let me get a couple scriptures. Speaking of which, hold up. Let's get that real quick. It's funny. Today's the 3rd, and this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. When you write out February 3rd, it's 2-3, right? So, this is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 2. And it reads, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So that's like a messenger. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And that's what's happening right now. The end is speaking, and it shall not tarry. Because why? Actions are taking place. Escalation are taking place. And there's no way around it. There's no way around it. And it said, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. And who's that soul that's not upright in him? Esau. These fucking devils. That's why they're ruling the earth in this manner. Because the soul in him is not upright in him. He can't do righteousness. He don't know righteousness. He's never known righteousness, and he never will know righteousness. But he will know judgment soon. He is going to know a judgment for being the unrighteous piece of shit he is. But in his soul, in his being, he'll never know righteousness, man, because the Lord didn't create him to be that. The Lord created him to be wicked. The Lord created him to be unrighteous. The Lord created him to be the way he is. The opposite of righteousness. Wicked. He's wicked. The son of the wicked. Hold on, and it says, verse 5, it says, yea, also he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied. That's the devil right now. Well, let's look at America. Oh, we got to take Greenland. Oh, Iran can have nuclear missiles. Oh, no, we're going to help Taiwan. Oh, no, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Oh, no, we're going to impose tariffs. Oh, we're gonna stop contributing to the UN. But all the while, everything that America's doing in their pride and their haughtiness is isolating themselves from even their own allies. To a more privacy escalated, Revelation the 17th chapter, the beast shall hate the whore, NATO, the EU, their Edomite counterparts. Hold up. It says, after the shootdown, Revolutionary Guard forces harassed the merchant vessel Stena Imperative, the U.S. military said. 2 boats and an Iranian Mahajir drone approached the ship at high speeds and threatened to board and seize the tanker, Hawkins' statement said. The destroyer USS McFall responded and escorted the Stena Imperative with defensive air support from the U.S. Air Force. The statement said, adding that the merchant vessel was now sailing safely. Talks between Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian officials are still planned. White House and Iranian officials said, I believe that's going to take place Friday, they said. It said Trump would not be drawn on where talks would take place, but he told reporters that we are negotiating with them right now. He also noted the U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites in June and said, I don't think they want that happening again. See? And your pride. But it said that they're going to take up a parable against you, man. You devils, this nigga Trump, as much as he pat himself on the back, what you really done to in this present time to be like, yo, yeah, America are America is them. America is the country to be reckoned with. No. But yet, you're talking about now, Trump talking about, oh, you got to make a golden dome. Oh, now the Pentagon bringing out, oh, they're talking about war might happen on U.S. soil, and wars that America's in won't be solely fought overseas. So what does that tell you? You know? It says Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said Tuesday that he instructed the country's foreign minister to pursue fair and equitable negotiations with the U.S., marking one of the first clear signs from Tehran that it wants to try to negotiate with Washington. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baghil also told state TV that the talks were still expected in the next few days, but that the details, including where they will take place, were still being discussed. But Baghi said Turkey and Oman, among other regional countries, had offered to host the talks, according to the semi-official Tasnim news agency. You see that? This is all forming to be one great big shit show. Because Iran said there's no negotiations with their nuclear program. And they're going to, whatever they're doing, they're going to continue to enrich. They're going to continue to escalate. And we go into the word escalate and say what? Hold on, let's go back to it. Escalated says, it's a general use with the figurative sense of raise from, and it says, originally in reference to scenarios for possible nuclear war. Come on. Call law YAHAWASHI. What is the issue with Iran, America, and the small hats? Their nuclear program. But yet Iran says what? We're going to continue to escalate it. We're going to continue to raise it. We're going to continue to enrich. Matter of fact, what's that word mean? Enrich. And I'm just going into etymology. Hold up. Enrich. Enrich. Fuck. So they say enriching their nuclear program. So I went to etymology into the word enrich from the late 14th century. It says to make wealthy, to enlarge, make, put in, supply with abundance of something desirable, it's from the 1590s, meaning to fertilize. It says to increase the abundance of a oh shit went dark. It says to increase the abundance of a particular isotope in some material, but that's their nuclear program. But you see that? To make rich, to make an abundance. And that's what Iran is doing. And that's what everybody's doing. Let the weak say I'm strong. And remember, the Iranians, those are the modern day Persians. That ties into Ezekiel 38th chapter. The Persians, Gog and Magog, which is modern day Russia. Look, it's so much happening. It's really hard to keep up. You got the chip, you got the MOTB system being ushered out every day. That's escalating. World War III, that's escalating. Jacob's Trouble, that's escalating. Civil war, uproars of the people, that's escalating. Sedition among men, they should not regard their king nor their princes, that's escalating. There's just a bunch of escalations, a bunch of raises. You know? But, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. Nothing they can do to stop it. It's nothing they can do. They can't even slow it down. You see how fast time is going? See how fast the days are moving? Here it is. It just became February. We're already like a week in February already. You know? So, but, you know, that's it though. No, Lord, when I was edifying, I'm going to give all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom.